Hi guys, and welcome to the Aging Games, where I talk about all things related to health, anti-aging and beauty, and especially for ladies over 50. Today I have a topic for you. I've been thinking about this a lot and I wanted to do a video about this. The question is, can you have a flat belly after the age of 50? If you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have said that's absolutely physically impossible. I was dealing with so many hormonal issues, digestive issues. For me, a flat belly just seemed almost unattainable. I would have some days where it was close to having one, but I just couldn't imagine. And I imagined that as the hormones would get worse and life would be more difficult, and everyone says you pack on weight after menopause, during perimenopause also, and that all these things are inevitable. But are they? The first thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is that actually nobody has a flat stomach every single day. Not even the fitness models. They may be training for a competition and then get really ripped and everything, and the day they're standing on stage they have these perfect abs, and then the next day when they start eating normal or go back to their normal routines, it doesn't really stay that way. So for us women, with the fluctuating hormones, with all kinds of different issues that we're dealing with, which men don't have to deal with, it's much more difficult to have a flat belly all the time. But there are some things that you can do to achieve it most of the time. And I can tell you, even for me, like even now, I feel like I've made a lot of progress. I've lost a lot of weight in the last couple of years. I've been able to maintain this weight loss. My fluctuation is just a couple of kilos up or down. And so I feel so much better about myself now at 50 than I did at 40, which is really amazing to say. And I didn't think that this was going to be the case. So I'm super thrilled that I've found so many things that actually work for me and work for my body. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, this is so important, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but this is so true. Abs are not made in the gym, abs are made in the kitchen. So abs are all about what you're eating. And I know for me, like I'm on a low carb diet, I eat like a keto carnivore type of diet, very little vegetables, mostly meat, a lot of fat. I eat only once a day or twice a day on most days, very rarely more often than that. And that helps a lot with my digestive issues and to keep my body regular, and everything just works better for me when I'm eating less and doing intermittent fasting at the same time. I also do regular water fasting in addition to the intermittent fasting. So if I feel like the weight is creeping back up a little bit, then I do a few days of water fasting, which helps to reset not just my weight, but also gets me back on track if I was going off track a little bit off my normal diet. So I know for me, for example, like wheat is a big trigger. So if I have something that has wheat in it, or even, my husband brings fresh bread and I have like a little tiny bite with a little bit of butter or something, the next day I will bloat up. So the abs will definitely not be flat the next morning. My body just responds to wheat instantly and I bloat a lot, and I just look puffy and terrible. And I know I can tell that I'm on the right track with my food, with everything, when, even in the evening, like last night, I was like, wow, I was very impressed with my tummy. I had a great day. I ate well, I exercised, and everything was just looking really good. Of course, this doesn't happen every day. It's very difficult to always be good and to stay on track completely. So circling back to exercise for a moment, many people falsely believe that abs are formed in the gym, and the more crunches you do, the more ab exercises you do, the more planking you do, the stronger your abs will be and the more definition you will have. But this is simply not true. And as long as you have even a very thin layer of fat over your abs, you will not have any visible muscles showing. It will be impossible. And the more fat you have over your abs, what happens is, if you're training the muscles underneath it, the muscle is not going to burn the fat. That's never going to happen. You need to burn the fat another way. And what's going to happen is, as the muscle gets bigger, it's actually going to push the fat out, and your stomach is going to look even bigger. So it's not a long-term, it's definitely not a solution that's going to work for anybody. And anyone that's been doing this for years and years and hasn't gotten results, then now you know why. So the best way to burn this layer of fat on your abs, if you really want your abs to be flat and to show, is either through high intensity interval training, HIIT exercises. This is best if you're doing them in the morning in a fasted state, because then your body will go directly into burning body fat rather than your breakfast. And also the other way is in the kitchen, either by changing the kinds of food that you're eating. So obviously, if you're putting on weight or you're not losing weight, then your diet is not working for you and you need to make some changes. And for example, for me, I had to cut out a lot of things that I thought were healthy for me. You know, for example, beans, lentils, things like that everyone tells you should eat more of, spinach, all of those things. And I really went just back to the basics when it comes to food. And like I said, you know, I eat very little vegetables. I will have some berries that are growing in season, like strawberries, raspberries, but limited amounts. I treat this like a treat, like a dessert. It's not something that I overindulge in. I don't eat any fruit that has a lot of sugar in it. I try to stay away from sweets as much as I can. I do like dark chocolate, and you know, that's a special treat for me. Otherwise, you know, high fat diet, lots of meat, that's pretty much it. And that's what helps me and that's what works for me. So I think it's really a matter of finding what works for you. And you know, as far as exercise goes, I don't actually, like I used to train my abs, I used to train with a trainer, and we used to do abs every day. And I actually don't train my abs anymore. What I do is I keep my abs engaged all day, and when I'm doing my exercise, whether it be walking or biking or swimming or lifting my weights, doing my kettlebells, I always make sure that my abs are engaged. And through this, I'm training my abs without actually having to get down to the floor and to do sit-ups and crunches and things like that. The most important thing, I think, is really keeping the hormones balanced. And I've really noticed, and perhaps you have as well, you know, I'm still menstruating on a regular basis. So what happens is the week or two right after my period is when I'm at my thinnest, when my belly's at my flattest. And then with ovulation, I start bloating up a little bit. And then as I'm coming up to my period, I start bloating again. During my period again. So it's, you know, being a woman, it's a constant cycle. Like I know which week or which 10 days I will look my best. And then the rest of the time, I try not to be so hard on myself, because it's so easy to start blaming yourself and saying, oh my God, you know, it's because I had a bite of this, or I didn't do this wrong, or I didn't exercise enough. And we're beating ourselves up. And then it's got nothing to do sometimes with what you're doing. It's just your hormones, the way they're fluctuating. And sometimes you're retaining more water. Other times your body's releasing this water. So, you know, keeping this balance emotionally so that you're not hard on yourself, and you don't expect to see this beautiful flat belly every single day, because I don't think that happens for anyone unless you're a guy, and then it's different. When it comes to water weight and bloating, luckily there are also a lot of things that you can do to correct these. One of these things is like a lymphatic drainage massage. You can also jump on a mini trampoline, which is fantastic. You can try pressotherapy, which is this spacesuit machine that you lie in. I actually have one at home that helps to detoxify your body and also does lymphatic drainage. And I think it's wonderful when you're doing it on a regular basis. A lot of salons offer this as well as a service. So there are ways to diminish or to lower this water retention that is a problem for so many of us. You're not going to be able to get it totally under control, but I think if you can improve it a little bit, you'll probably feel a lot better in your skin. Okay, going into our 50s, I mean, for me, yes, it's important for me to stay in shape, to stay fit. I like nice clothes. It's important for me to fit into them. And, you know, how I feel inside, you know, is a reflection of how I'm feeling on the outside as well in that moment. And, but I don't think that this is something that needs to be a goal for everybody. And, you know, if you're happy and you're healthy and you're happy in your skin, then, you know, just because you're seeing all these women on Instagram with the perfect bodies and the flat belly, it doesn't mean that that's where you need to be. And I also can't say that it's achievable for everybody, because we are all different genetically. We respond to food, to our hormones, to everything differently. So I think it's really about bringing out the best that you can be and feeling good in your skin and feeling comfortable and ultimately being healthy. So while these tips might help you to achieve a flatter belly, if that is a goal for you and if that makes you happy, But if it's not, then don't stress about it, and it's absolutely fine. Like I said, the most important thing is to be healthy and to be happy. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please also check out my anti-aging guide. You can find the link below for over 100 different tips for anti-aging and how to stay healthy and young and beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.